Hey folks, Species7 here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're having a look at a great neat little game. This is a kind of combination of a time and money business management game and a little bit of a puzzle game. So kind of cool. This is Big Pharma. Yeah, I know. Between oil industry and this one, all we really need is get the old tobacco people together there, and we'd have the trifecta of political incorrect games. However, come on guys, these are nothing but pixels, and if we're this far into the computer age and we still can't tell the difference between what's pixels and what's real life, well, there is something other than games that's at an issue here. We're going to start a new game. Zoomity zoom. And here's what we got for levels so far, and it is no small thing. We've got all the tutorial levels. As you can see, I've actually done down as far as exploration. They have all of these beginners, well, you guys can read. I don't have to read that all off to you. This is still in early access, and I will provide a link in the description down below. And yes, like everyone else on YouTube, I'm pointing down when I say down below. But I will provide a link. It is not yet available on Steam, but if you want to support the developers and jump right into this game and give it a try, because it is a heck of a lot of fun and it's really cool, I say follow the link. You can purchase the game, and they have already stated that as soon as it does hit Steam's early access, they will hand out Steam keys to everyone that was nice enough to support them. So we are going to start today right at the beginning, and if you guys are interested in seeing more of it once we've done that, we will work our way, well, hopefully right to the end. So, without further ado, one word of warning. I run Norton's antivirus, and because this is not updated by Steam, because it's not yet on Steam, it has an auto-updater built in. The problem with it is the execute files, like just about every other execute file in the universe, if 10 billion people haven't used it, Norton recognizes it as a virus and doesn't let it go. So, be warned. There shouldn't be an issue when you install it, but if that does come up, just disable your antivirus for 10 minutes, let it do the install, then you can shut the game back down, re-enable your, normal safety protocols. But just so you know, it's obviously not a virus, because my stuff's back up now, and none of it's screaming, oh help, we now have 60 viruses. So, without further ado, let's get out of our oil-soaked clothing, put out our cigarette, and jump into the tutorial. Here we go. First step here, welcome to Big Pharma. They are not shy about this at all. Good for them. Standard procedure for all new employees to go through orientation, even CEOs. Navigation, this is a production tab. And this empty plot, which you can zoom way out of and way into, is the start of your very own pharmaceutical empire. Well, we've started with smaller spaces than this, guys. Alright, to scroll around the map, you can blah 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 blah, or blah 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 blah, or even further, blah 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 blah. Alright, mouse wheel, page up, page down, wee, or you can use the page up, page down. Okay, making your first drug. Alright, you need money to do things like build production lines, expand your factory, research new technology. To make money, you need to create and sell drugs. And unlike the basement, these are actually legal drugs. Whether they should be or not is the whole other debate, right? Let's make our first drug. Alrighty, so what you want to do is click this little beastie here. And what that basically does is tells this doorway, these are doorways, and they can represent either an innie or an outie, oddly enough. If you click on one, it'll allow you an import option, and what it'll allow you is a list of everything you currently have. These are raw ingredients. Like this happens to be effervescent jack ear distillate. Alrighty. And if we look down here, we can see that, well, right now it doesn't do anything. It's not quite where it needs to be a painkiller. And so far, no side effects. So, anyway, let's carry on here. Alright. Here we go. If you notice this tutorial window is getting in the way, you can put it almost anywhere. Glad they told us that. Okie dokie. Now, oh, you can also slide your room around with the right mouse button, which I find is the easiest way. Okay, so, see these two things? That's these two things, by the way. Alright, these are called effects. Effects come in two varieties: cures, da 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 da, and side effects. Da, 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 da. Okay. This ingredient has one of each. Painkiller, which is the cure, and the side effect, it induces nausea. I don't feel good, man. Currently, they are both inactive. However, you can activate, deactivate effects within your drugs by changing their concentration. The blue tab at the top of the ingredient. Yeah. And this is telling us this has a concentration of 4. Alright, our goal for this tutorial is to create a painkiller drug. To do that, we need to activate the painkiller effect by changing the ingredient's concentration. To achieve this, we'll build a production line. So, if we look at the concentration bar, we'll find it next to the effects box. We need to activate it. We need to increase this concentration here. Now, you'll see there it says active range, maximum strength, and currently inactive. Now, active range is 5 to 12. This is currently a 4. So we've got to raise the active range on that, or the concentration. So the way to do that is with an evaporator. Alright? So, now this is really in the way. We want to go in here and we want to buy ourselves an evaporator. Yes, indeed. And we can place it, we can spin it about with the mouse wheel, which is a great, great handy thing. And, we can place it. Alrighty. Now, to hook it up, we're going to need to put a piece of belt in there. Oh, do they want me to do that yet? Yep. Click. That's simple. And if you right click anywhere on your room, it'll get rid of the last object you picked up. Okay. Now, it wants us to blah 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 blah. Now, if we click on this machine, the last machine we placed, the evaporator, click, it tells us that, oh look, this is now active, the painkiller part of it anyway. The induces nausea is not yet active. So the way this works, basically, if I added another evaporator, it would increase this once more, and although it would make a little bit better painkiller, we would also start to get this side effect. So we're not going to do that for now. Alright, so now we need to figure out how we're going to get this stuff to the peoples. So, best thing to do is not click that button, but rather this one. And let's get this out of the way once again. And build ourselves a pill printer. Because people don't want to eat raw ingredients. They want them to come in shiny little pills. So, we can actually, if we wanted to, connect this right to the end. You don't need to have a belt in between. If for any reason at all it, might be better in the long run for you not to, you don't have to. You can connect any innies with any outies, and any outies with any innies. So, let's place that down. $2,000, as you can see, this thing was not cheap. And a chunk of belt in between. The belts are quite smart. You see how that straight belt bent itself? Right? Not bad. I didn't have to drag or move or putter about. There we go. And like I say, right-clicking gets rid of it. Now you'll notice this blue thing that went in is now a purple thing that comes out. Very, very cool. So, last thing we really want to do is just simply evaporator. Well, basically get the thing to the door. Okay? So we want to go back to our belts. And here you can drag. Boom. There we go. Now we'll see, once it goes through our pill machine, it actually produces, oddly enough, a pill. Well, in this case, a capsule. And when it gets to the end of the assembly line, before your first pill gets to go out for sale, you'll notice everything stops. Yeah, because there's something for me to do before the assembly line will continue on. By the way, you can pause. Click. Here we are, we're paused. normal time, fast forward. Anyway, when he gets there, you have a chance to name it. Now, as this is just simply the tutorial, we're going to allow Tuteralis a zapper to stand. Boom. And we have named it. And we've completed the first tutorial. So it is really, that's the simplest portion of it. And it's also where the puzzle part comes in. Because you'll see currently we have one other exit here. Or entrance, depending on how we want to look at it. Now, if I wanted to import something else here and run it through all of its machines, well, I can't put it out the same exit. So I'd have to expand my little building here until I found another exit. But if there were another one, I would have to kind of Tetris all the little pieces in so that I could access the exit once all my gear was in here. And let's say I built this machine line out here. Well, I'd probably have to build like a belt all the way around the edge, then connect all my machines, and then leave enough of a gap for a belt to get all the way back to the door. See what I mean? There you go. Now, to move on to the next one, we simply do this, click Leave Game, and you'll see we can now move on, like upgrading cures. So let's do one more. Alright. And then we'll probably call her for this episode. So, we want to supply one eases migraine treatment. Okay. Upgrading cures in Big Pharma is crucial to your success. Higher level cures attract higher values, so it is possible to make more money with them. Before we can make any more production lines, we need to expand our factory. So if we zoom out here, you'll see, well, in this case, there's only a couple more plots, right? Oh, excuse me, guys. I think a giant hummingbird or something flew up me snout. What they want us to do here is buy one. And here we go. Remember what I said last time? We only had the one exit? Well, now we have more. In fact, two more. So, alright, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to deal with that. So now we've got a bigger place, and we've got a chance to build a second production line. So, let's bring in a new ingredient. Alright. And we only have one. So, we're going to, well, have to grab that one and import it, right? But this one we're going to upgrade it. And you'll see if we look over this, it says it will upgrade to eases migraine. Okay? And we can also see that what we need to do that, now it's not even active here yet, but it says upgrade with an evaporator. We'll get to what that means in a minute. So here we go. Tells us we can upgrade to eases migraine by getting it to a concentration between 7 and 10. Right? You see the little test tube there, or flask actually, I'm sorry. With a 7 to 10, that's where we need to be. Currently, we're a 4, so we're going to have to raise this at least 3, which of course is going to put it into the nausea zone, but that's another story. So, we'd need 3 evaporators to get it up to a 7. Alright? So, let's import that particular drug. That'll take us back to our production line. Alright. And like I said, what they need here, the first thing we're going to need is 3 of these guys. So, one, 2, and I'm going to put the third one there. Now again, right click to get rid of it, and let's get all this stuff hooked up to belts. And an Audi. Okay. Now what we should find, it gone through our first evaporator, it's gone through our second evaporator, coming down to our third one. Alright. Now we should be able to click on that third evaporator and find out what this product has become. Ah, look. It now tells us Upgrade to eases migraine. It meets the requirements. Okay. Because it's got the little green tick beside the flask. Of course, you see we've also moved into the nausea section. So when we click over this, whoops, back to here, you'll see that it says upgrade with evaporator. So to actually get this to change itself from the painkiller to the eases migraine, we still need to add one more evaporator. Okay, so let's do that. Go back to basics, grab ourselves a Vappy, and let's drop it right here. Boom. Again, you will need a piece of belt to connect these. Poof. And a belt on the outie. There we go. Now it's gone through this evaporator. If we click this guy, you'll see it's now turned into this yellow thing. We'll see it is now listed as an eases migraine and cannot upgrade any further. Okay. We do have the relieves nausea, but at this point in time we can't really do anything about that. Okay. So we just need to drop a couple of pill printers on there, and we should be good to go. Well, they actually only want one pill printer. We'll get into that later. So, seeing as they only want one, I'm going to put it in the simplest place possible. Oops. I meant to right click, not left click. By the way, that just cost me like way more thousands than I needed to be spending. So, let's belt up. Boom. And that should do it. Boom. We are now producing pills. And here we are. Let's name our pill the Tuteralis Migraine Ease. Poof. And you'll see we've completed the tutorial. So yeah, there you have a rough overview. Now, it does get, there is more to it than this, believe me. Again, we have to leave game, go to our next one. I'm not going to go all the way through this tutorial, but I'd like to show you now that they've added it. The other things that you're going to find are research. Okay. By having scientists that aren't currently working, you'll gain research points, right? No, we should have actually gone the other way. Let's go to ingredients instead. Here we are. Okay. Let's start here. We'll just go through this tutorial. So, we got in the ingredients tab, we see we've got this. Okay. We only have this one ingredient right now, so we've already taken it as far as it'll go in the last tutorial. So if we want new stuff, we have to find it. And the way to do that is to hire explorers. So click hire. And we now have an explorer. Now, if your explorer sits idle, he will generate ingredient upgrade points. Okay, these reduce the costs of ingredients you already discovered. Like every time we used one of these, it cost us 33 bucks. If I upgrade the ingredient, like not change any of these properties, but upgrade the ingredient itself, that price will drop. Okay, so now blah 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 blah. We've hired our explorer, so we want him to go out and look for dragon beetles. All right, so if we click down here, we can assign our explorer. And you'll see this percentage slowly climbs. 5%, 9%, right? On and on and on and on and on. So if we go to our research tab, alright, this is where you hire scientists and assign them to new research projects. Okay. So hire a scientist, and we want him to research ionizers. So let's hire a scientist. Let's go here and assign him. And you'll see it'll take 1 month, and we'll have an ionizer. So now let's go back to our production tab. Alright. while we wait for the new ingredients, we should make some important improvements. So what the improvements are is they want us to double our pill printers. Because what happens here is things back up waiting for this pill printer. See how everything stopped? This entire line right back to the window stopped while it prints a capsule. Now here's the deal. If you guys know what ticks are in Minecraft, this game sort of works the same. Every time a belt moves is a tick. Alright? Now, the belts will move once per tick. However, a pill thing takes 2 ticks to work. So, if we add a second pill printer, okay, and then drag this belt to there, okay, and then put a belt on that end to take it out, we'll see what happens now. There we go. Now they're both working in sync. And we've actually doubled the speed, not only of our pill production, of the entire assembly line. Okay. So there. We have, I think we got all the... Okay. Now... So we now have to wait until our research, etc. is ready. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to take. Ingredients discovered. Malleable Yambutan juice. Ooh, okay, so we have discovered an ingredient. So, let's go to the Ingredients tab. Here we are. Now you'll notice our Explorer is back. Okay, and he's sitting here. Now that's okay, we could fire him because he does cost us 50 bucks a day. But we're not going to do that because you'll see this is going up. So as long as he sits here, he'll be generating points towards us upgrading those. Alright, so we now have a new ingredient, this malleable Yambutan juice. Yummy, yummy. Alright, it contains it relieves hypertension, but we can upgrade it to treat angina, which is what we want to eventually do. So, we can import this, alright, to an empty socket. Okay, we're going to have to buy this new zone, I guess. There we go, and let's buy that. There, now we got lots of room to get rid of it. I think we're time to zoom out a little bit. Okay. So we've done that. Alright. So this time around, if we look at our ingredient, we'll see that upgrade to treat angina, we need to reduce this from an 8 to a somewhere between 0 and 6. Now we are, again, that will affect the narrowest pupils, but that's what we're going to do. And in this case, the nice thing about it is we can use a thing called a dissolver to accomplish that. Alright? So if we go into our basics, we now have these guys, dissolvers, and we're going to need, I believe, 2 of them to get to the concentration that we need. So let's start with that. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, crud. There we go. Put that in. Then we want to go to that one. Then we want to belt out. There we go. Did I make that look completely awkward? Alright, let's wait till one hits the second one. Ah, here we are. Now, let's click this machine. There we go. And see what's happened. Well, as we can see, we've lowered it a couple. We are now into... See, pre-requirement, Upgradable with an ionizer. Uh-huh. So we need to do this with an ionizer. So let's go into our basics, find ourselves an ionizer, and let's add that to the system. Boom. Click. And see what that's going to produce for us. Okay, we are now into the treats angina stage. Alright. But it would appear that we need to actually, like, we've got it to that point, but you'll notice that it's not into the active yet, because the active range is 6 to 12, so we need to raise this by 3. Now, the way we raised things before was with evaporators, so I'm going to think if we were to go in here and get ourselves some evaporators, and I'm going to hook that guy there, and that guy there, and then this guy here. Click, click. Let's get some belts in there. Poof. And one on the outie side. And let's see what happens when it hits this third one. Alright, it's in the third one now. So let's click on this guy, and there we are. We now actively have a treats angina cure. Well, not cure, sorry. We now have a medication for treats angina. You'll see that it is now active, currently active, okay, for treats angina, and there's our cell cost. So, what we need to do now, of course, is get her the rest of the way to an exit. And as soon as our... Oh, no, we don't. Sorry. Yeah. We forgot something. That just cost us a whole bunch of money. Because what we need is, of course, a way to get people to actually eat these things. And then get rid of that one. Now let's go to belt. And on this side, there we go. Let's see how this works for us, shall we? And as soon as that pill hits the edge, and boom, we have a pill. New product, Tutorials, Angina Away. We'll name it that. There we go, complete. And once again, we will leave game to go back to our main screen. So there you go, guys. That's been the first 3 tutorial missions in Big Pharma. Really a quite enjoyable game. It is still early access. They are still working on it. In fact, there was an update to it just before I logged in. Don't know what the differences were. They weren't great big upfront sort of things. But it is a really decent little game. Well, little, there's apparently a fair bit to it, and if they add any more, wow. You know, what do we got here? About 25 different missions. I don't know that there's actually a free play, but once you get out of the tutorials, the other thing that's kind of neat is, like a lot of business managements, you start to get competitors. Now in the beginner mode you only have 2. Once you get past intermediate, or 1 I should say, intermediate gives you 2, and then you get into the advanced gives you 3, and then of course you have the quick start, which gives you a little bit different starting scenarios, and the crippling debt. So, but anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed. It would be appreciated if you could hit the like button and help out my channel. Any comments, feel free to post them down below. I do read and respond to every single one of them. And if you want to see more, let me know, and let me know what you think of the game. Till next time, feel free to share it with your friends, add it to your favorites, all of that good stuff. But above all, take care of each other, folks. This has been Species 7. Ciao for now.